What's going on, guys? Power GPU here. Today, as you can see, we're gonna go ahead and play Watch Dogs at full resolution, 3840 by 2160, 4K resolution. The only thing that is turned down in this game is going to be your anti-aliasing. It's set to MSAA ×2, and the reason for that, that's the most playable setting I could actually see at 4K resolution, with everything else literally maxed out with HBAO plus high, everything all the way up, ultra, water, shaders, and like I said, the only thing that's turned down is MSAA to ×2. The reason why I did that is when I put it at ×8, it was actually capping out the VRAM on the video card itself. It was using more than 8 gigs of VRAM, so it was actually getting a lot of micro stutter, and the FPS was playable. It was around the 40-ish, 45-ish FPS, which is okay, but again, it was getting a lot of micro stutter because the VRAM was getting capped out. In this video, you can actually see that the FPS is more in the 60s, which is what I want to be at when you're running at 4K or any resolution for that matter. One other thing I wanted to go over with you guys is that a lot of people have been saying in the chat with the other videos that my computer is actually bottlenecking the 21080s. To be honest with you, I'm not sure that's entirely possible. I mean, the Intel 3960X, yes, it is a little outdated, but it's still very powerful. It keeps on par, or it actually keeps up pretty good with the 5820K for the X99 chipset, and actually has the same exact specifications as the 5930X, or 5930K, my apologies. But like I said, it performs really well even with the newer architect boards. You could even ask, what's his name, Yes Tech City. He loves to use old X58 motherboards, and it's still great. So again, guys, the computer's definitely not bottlenecking this. And keep in mind, PCI Express 2.0 to 3.0, memory bandwidth, that's not a big difference. Linus Tech Tips did a video on this where he went all the way down to PCI Express 1.0, and he was all the way down, running down at ×4, and the FPS difference was literally 1 to 2 FPS all the way down at ×4 to 16. So the bandwidth there, it's there. It's more than enough. One other thing too I wanted to go ahead and cover is that the SLI bridge that's coming out through NVIDIA, I was doing some testing yesterday. A lot of people were saying too in the comments, you need to wait for the new SLI bridge. Well, keep in mind that the new SLI bridge is going to be running at 650 megahertz ×2, because it's going to be using pretty much the newer architect for the new bridge. But I went ahead and tried something out myself. I have two older SLI ribbons. I was using one before. When I put in the second one to actually see if it actually increases any type of performance, I actually went down on synthetic benchmarking when it came to Firestrike or 3D Mark 11. But when I ran Unigine Heaven, I went up to 51 FPS from 47, and my minimum went up from 8.9 to 22.9. So there is an indication that it actually does help out with your frame rate stability, which is something that NVIDIA did say that they recommend for 4K resolution and 1440p. So pretty much they're recommending the new SLI bridge if you're running anything from 1440p and up. The reason for that is because it does require more bandwidth to be transferred between each card, more data, because it is pushing a lot higher resolution, so you are pushing the cards a lot more. Now keep in mind, the SLI bridge, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not required, it is a recommendation. So if you don't buy it, don't think that you're going to be losing tons of performance. To be honest with you, I don't think you are. Out of all the reviews that I've seen that have been using the new SLI bridge compared to mine, like I said, the performance difference is not even probably 1 or 2 FPS. Now, I would recommend getting it because one thing I do like is to have a high minimum versus having a low minimum, because then that actually creates a lot better gameplay. So if you're getting really low FPS or micro stuttering, the high memory bandwidth is going to really help out. One thing too I wanted to cover too on Watch Dogs is if you notice, on the VRAM usage on this game, it uses up a lot of VRAM. So like I said, what at ×8 AA with everything else maxed out, I was above 8 gigs of RAM, which is insane. One other thing too is if you look at the RAM usage, which is right above GPU 1, it's at 10 gigs of RAM, or it's fluctuating between 10 to 12 gigs of RAM. If I turn up anti-aliasing to 8, it goes all the way up to 15 gigs of RAM, which is insane. This game pretty much, I think the whole map is literally loaded onto the RAM, so that way it actually, when you're actually driving around, it's not pretty much pre-pop-ups, or it's just taking its time to render, which is pretty smart. But at the same time, it's going to be using up a lot of your RAM, which I never noticed that this game did take up that much RAM to begin with. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. If you guys leave some comments at the bottom, let me know what you guys think of the video as well. Hit that like button. If you like the video, subscribe. I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of the video. And one other thing, I have two GTX 1070s on their way to do my SLI review of the GTX 1070s, and I'll be doing kind of the same format as well. but I'll probably be doing 1440p more and 4K at the same time, because two 1070s I would say is more the 1440p 4K-ish range as well. And I would say two 1080s is definitely the 4K range for you 4K enthusiasts out there. But that's pretty much it. It should be on Tuesday. And like I said, guys, have fun, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Oh God! Holy shit! Oh my God! Watch where you're going. I don't want to die.
Put it baby.
Hey, careful now.
Yo, watch yourself, Joe. I'm a shoo-in, you know I.
Share the sidewalk, asshole.
Honey, he isn't just
Damn, buddy! Watch where you're going!
Jeez, asshole.
all the time. I mean, not some of the time, all the time.
He starts
Wow. Always one in the crowd.
Not everywhere. Everywhere. Got like 12 bottles of sanitizer because the kids can't sit next to him. I mean, it just smells. Oh, give me a break. Hey, you weren't raised right.